Good evening, and welcome to Real Talk with T. Holmes. This evening, as we welcome you back, I want to thank you all for tuning in Sunday after Sunday. And as we go into our segment, we start our motivational speech out this evening. I want to talk about protecting your own energy. Sometimes in life we go about our daily routines, and we may be caught up with this group and that group and another group, and in general, we are all dealing with different things. And sometimes we may allow other people's problems to become a burden on how to protect our own energy. That means sometimes do a self evaluation on ourselves. If you are dealing with people, friends, and families that's toxic, know how to remove yourself from that situation and understand that it's okay. So as we go into our segment this evening, we will be talking to a beautiful young lady who allowed her fight to continue to be a fight for her life. So I want to thank my sponsors this evening for sponsoring Real Talk with T. Holmes. Thank you. And protect our energy. Today we have Miss Kelly Motley here with us today. Kelly is a author who has navigated boxing as a strength to be able to battle through breast cancer and allow that to be her strength to be able to beat chemo. Kelly is also a former public relations marketing professional who has landed top stories around the world in American news sources. And Kelly, I want to welcome you to Real Talk with T. Holmes this evening. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you, Tammy. I'm
Thank
glad to
you.
be here.
Well, I'm glad you are here. And look, let me first give knowledge to Lehman Wilson for the former introduction. So, Lehman, I thank you for the connection. That's a little insight about you. But before we go into that, as you all see here, the fight for my life, boxing through chemo, Kelly has allowed her resources that she's learned in life to be able to navigate through life, to be able to beat some of the strongest things in life that will attack us, unfortunate circumstances, as you would say. So, Kelly, give us a little bit background about who you are and what you experienced early on before having a battle with breast cancer.
Yeah, absolutely. So, my story, three themes about my story:
Okay.
being stuck, physical and mental tools for hope, and who is in the corner. As you mentioned, who do you lose energy to?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, we're all facing some kind of unexpected circumstance. For some people, it might be bankruptcy. We all face these circumstances, and luck for me to discover boxing. I had a beautiful family, incredible husband and kids, but I felt really stuck in my life. Not like stumbling forward, just stuck. Um, I was feeling at the time that my courage was shrinking and I lacked backbone. I was dealing with a major client at the time where every day it felt like uh, it was outweighing me. It felt like a bout every single day. I was praying, I was meditating, and felt this deep sense of powerlessness around what was going on with my business. And I live in a 1924 home, and everything seemed to be breaking, never to be repaired. One day, I was having a bad day, and I felt like I needed to punch something that very day. I'm sure a lot of people have felt like that with their work or a personal circumstance. And so, to pull me from the brink, I pulled my drive and went up the road to a popular boxer-sized gym where I took a group class and I threw angry punches. I could see my client's face on the bag, and I thought, wow, I'm going to be really great at this boxing thing. So much, anger and
Right.
rage. That's boxing. And so so I started there, and then with my 13-year-old, we started taking a martial arts class called Jeet Kune Do, which is a Bruce Lee style fighting.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to get better, I really hung on to these classes as if my life depended on them. And to get better, I started training with a super middleweight professional boxer from Ghana, Sena Agbeko, 3 days a week.
Okay.
And Christy Holbert, who is a former Olympic boxing coach, and really started going down this path of boxing.
Okay, so I like one thing you said on circumstances of life. So, per conversation that we've had, some of the things that you mentioned to me when you said who's in your corner matters, and the people that you're giving your matter. So I like that, but we will emphasize on that in just a little bit, okay? But before we go forward, I would like to talk about your event that you're having
Yeah.
this Friday, Music City Fight,
Yeah.
your boxing book launch party. So that sounds like a lot of fun. And then I understand you will have a lot of celebrity praise that will be in the building. So give us a little bit insight about that.
So this is a mesh of boxing and some of Nashville's most incredible music artists.
Okay.
This professional superweight boxer, Sena Agbeko, will be there, and he will be sparring. Shanka Dugaray, who is in a upcoming Tom Hanks film that the Warner Brothers is putting out about Elvis Presley and Elvis's relationship with Colonel Parker.
Mm-hmm.
She plays Big Mama Thornton in the film, and Shanka will be the featured musical artist. We
Okay.
have a number of other incredible artists, Michelle Prentice, Shelby Jean, Michael Kelch, but we have a number of incredible artists at the event, and there's going to be a live auction where nationally acclaimed artist Ben Caldwell is auctioning off some of his artwork as well.
Okay. So what about, is it any other names that will be there that will be a big validation to, the people of the public?
Yeah, so before my book was published, these people won't be there, but before my book was published,
Okay.
um, one of the biggest authorities in the boxing industry, Teddy Atlas,
Okay.
has really gotten behind my book and wrote an incredible praise for my book. I was on his podcast. It will be broadcast on the 24th. And Stormy O'Mardian, who is a world-renowned Christian author, has sold 40 million books.
Ooh.
She wrote beautiful things about my book and really has supported it, along with best-selling author Rebecca Wells, who wrote the Divine Yaya Sisterhood book, which became a film with Ashley Judd.
Okay.
So really great people.
Okay. And yes, so it sounds like you have a lot of people in your corner that you would like to give your energy to. So that makes a major difference when you um, decide to write the book and execute your plan. So I want to congratulate you on the fight for my life, boxing through chemo. So, okay, Kelly, let's get a little bit more into depth. Life is going great for you, your husband and your kids, business, and then suddenly you get a report from the doctor, right? And how did they go?
Well, so I have been doing PR in Nashville's $92 billion healthcare industry, and so I know a lot about the healthcare industry
Okay.
in Nashville, and in general, just
Mhm.
in general. And I had always been told that a hospital is one of the most dangerous places in America. These are from my clients, a
Mhm.
broad range of clients, and the women in my family live into their hundreds, and I felt incredibly healthy. Everything about my life said that I was incredibly healthy. I eat healthy, I exercise, and I got this diagnosis, and I didn't believe it, and really thought, that sloppiness was at play, and that there were some mistakes made. So
Mhm.
at the time, I really had a hard time wrapping my brain around that this could be really happening to me.
Okay. So your mindset after receiving your diagnosis, like, surely this can't be me. This can't be me. I'm exercising. I'm eating healthy. I'm doing, and as you said, majority of the women in your family live to see 100 plus years.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, there goes the unfortunate circumstances that we face in life, right? So at this time, your son is doing the martial arts, correct?
We were doing it together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So how was that?
It was great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the midst of you battling that, your mindset, your family, how was that for your family to cope, your husband and kids?
So I talk about in the corner piece,
Mm-hmm.
and I surrounded myself. I was very intentional. I surrounded myself with people who really were focused on visualization and intention, and where do I see myself in 2 years or 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Pity was not part of it. I was told that pity requires energy and can be a dark force and put us all in a dark place. So I was really, I had a corner of people who were very positive.
Okay. Okay. And audience, Kelly made a major point. I love for you to say about your corner, the positivity, because again, although she was facing breast cancer, Kelly has definitely put emphasis on that. No matter, her book doesn't just focus on you facing cancer, whether it's divorce, bankruptcy, loss of job, loss of a family member, or whomever, is that we must input positive energy, and in the midst of putting positive energy in order to get positive results and have a positive mindset, correct?
Yeah, so I really wanted, I knew that, I mean, if you look at it, like, if you think about a fight, the best conditioned athlete is going to have the advantage. I did not want it to be a wasted year of my life. I didn't want to die, but I didn't want it to be a wasted year. And so I wanted to be, when you get when you face an unexpected circumstance, mine was a diagnosis. It's not going to be a comfortable road. Your mind, your body, your soul will need to be sharp like a sword for the battle. And so I went into this really wanting the very best results. I wanted minimal downtime from surgeries and from chemo, and did not want this to be a wasted year. I felt like I was the strongest I'd ever been in my life, and I didn't want to lose everything that I'd worked for. So that was my game plan, was around training and really being with people who were going to keep me very mentally and physically strong.
Okay, so it sounds like to me that you came up with a plan and you went through with your execution, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so that worked out well for you also, right?
It did. And you sometimes face unexpected circumstances within that unexpected circumstance. So I thought I was finished.
Mm-hmm.
I'd gone through all the chemo. I had gone through a large number of the surgeries, and I felt like I couldn't figure out what was going on. I ended up having an infected port. And so that was very complicated and very, very serious. But I continued to use the principles that I learned inside the ring to help me climb out of, at times what felt like a hopeless and desperate situation.
Okay, well, that was my next question. So can you give us what's some of the principles that you learned
Yeah.
that we can give to the audience, that whatever they are facing,
Sure.
to help them overcome, that helped you?
Sure. So when I first started training with Sena Agbeko, he said to me, imagine that we are strapping a tool belt around your waist and we're stocking up with tools that you can count on using. You're going to have more options. If there's nothing in your tool belt, there's nothing to reach for.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really important to have a tool belt in life, and when you're going through some kind of unexpected circumstance, to really think about that. When hitting the speed bag, I learned a lot, and it's about making situations adapt and adjust to you. Tough situations, you look for patterns. You are the ultimate controller, and you have the power to move things in any direction that you want. So I really started thinking about that. Your breath is really important, and relaxation is really important in going through some kind of unexpected circumstance. When you're slipping or rolling, you have to lean into your opponent or the threatening situation. for me, it felt very counterintuitive when I first started boxing because I would want to lean away.
Mm-hmm.
But what that does is it affects your balance and it puts you in the line of fire and it makes the situation worse, whatever you're in. So it's really important that you lean into your opponent. I was taught things about not dwelling on your mistakes, and confidence is paramount to everything you do. When you're vulnerable, it allows for openings and opportunities.
Now, I love the fact that you said leaning into your opponents. Like, that makes a major difference because, again, our opponents are a variety of different things. And in the midst of us having to lean into, it also still adapts with our mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, too, like you said, it controls your balance.
Mm-hmm.
And in the midst of it controlling your balance, and that gives you a leeway on whether or not I'm going to fight or I'm going to give in.
Right. That's such a great point. So much of boxing is a mindset, and healing is a mindset. And, when you're dealing, for some people, if it's cancer, there's a lot of commonalities between boxing and cancer where you have the unpredictability, you feel the seconds ticking down, you've got a lot of vulnerability and courage and despair. You've got all the bleeding and everything else that goes along with it physically. So for me, again, I felt like the universe was really kindly, quietly giving me this gift of introducing me to this sport.
Okay. Well, audience, Kelly Motley has told us how, at times, how hopeless and despair has brought her through life. Again, no matter what you're facing in life, it doesn't matter. And of course, you all hear me constantly say that no matter what you're facing in life, you don't always have to believe it, because circumstances can always be a change. And so, as we close out this segment, Kelly, I want to thank you so much. Thank you for being brave enough for sharing your story. As I often say, our trials and tribulations are not for us. They are to help someone else. But I love the fact that your book, even though you dealt with the breast cancer, is not centered just around it. Mm-hmm. So, again, the principles that Kelly learned, she allowed that to help her fight and box through the chemo. So, as she said, we have to lean into our opponent, and then set our balance along the way. So that means we don't give in to whatever our opponent is. But I want to emphasize again before we close out, Kelly, you can tell them where they can purchase your book.
Sure.
And but before Kelly does that, we will talk about the Music City Fight. That's the boxing book launch party. That's this Friday, August the 20th, 6:30 to 8:30. And guess who will be there? Real Talk with T. Holmes will do the pre-host show for Music City Fight. So Kelly, I'm so grateful and thankful for the opportunity. So you can get an audience the information on where they can purchase your book.
Sure. You can purchase my book at thefightformylife.com.
Okay, so you guys, as Kelly said, I meant to mention this earlier, that when you first start to go through breast cancer, if someone could have just given you this book.
Yeah, this is the book that I wish I would have had when I first got diagnosed, when I felt that I needed to give up my business. I was wondering, gosh, how is my husband going to continue to love me when, it felt like a Johnny Cash song, I've been everywhere, man, just in terms of all the symptoms I was told that I was going to have. And again, the principles that I learned in boxing really helped me continue with my business and helped me to have a high well-being mentally and physically. And boxing, honestly, even before the cancer and now, I lean into the principles to be the best version of myself, physically, mentally, and in growing my business.
Okay. Well, Kelly, thank you. As we close out, lean into every situation. Giving up is never an option. And there you have it, directly from Real Talk with T. Holmes. Thank you. Have a good evening.